Hey everyone, I'm Brain. So this weekend I signed up for the closed beta test of Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. If you're not familiar with this, it's a new version of the Phantasy Star Online 2 series. It has improved graphics, improved gameplay, and so I thought I'd give a test of it and see how it plays. I'm going to be streaming it this weekend on Twitch, Brain, pretty easy to find. So if you want to, you can follow me there and check out the footage. But I thought I would share with you the things that I'm doing and looking at and preparing for the closed beta test so I can get the most out of it during this shortened period this weekend. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're enjoying this content, be sure to subscribe because that's the best way to let me know that you do enjoy it. So let's get started. So the first step in getting in the closed beta is you need to go into the Insider Hub app. This is on Windows, on the computer that you're going to run the game on, and you'll see the New Genesis beta and choose Join. Now, when I joined this afternoon, I was still able to get in. It comes up with a pending, but then immediately it popped up the Windows Store. Now, if yours doesn't pop up the store, here's what you can do to manually install it after you get accepted. So when you get into the store, you can click on the three little dots in the corner here and choose My Library. And it should show up under here. Now, for some reason you're not seeing it, you may have to hit an unhide in the corner here. Mine was hidden earlier, but now it shows just fine. The game is about 20 gigs, so it'll take a little while to download depending on your internet speed. But once you get it completely installed, here's a look at the launcher. And in the launcher you've got a news feed and some links to the manual, forums, support. The environment settings in the upper right corner don't really give you a whole lot to change. I don't know if that's going to change in a newer version that might get pushed later. But at this point you can just change some sound settings. There's not really any graphics quality settings to change in here. One useful link off of the launcher is to the game manual. I will put a link to that in the description below for reference. But the game manual is something that shouldn't be overlooked because it does give you a good idea of what to expect in the menu system. It walks you through the character creation and keyboard characters, what each key does in the game, which would be very useful to have. It also talks you through how to navigate through the menuing system and what each item in the menu means. There's a lot of information in here you'll want to be familiar with before you start the game, or you could even refer to it while you're playing to make sure you're not missing something. The quick menu is also in this game like it was in PSO2, which if you played that before, you're familiar with that. It talks you through the items and weapons menu, how you can assign items and assign weapons to your palette. It also goes through the different classes, just with a quick description of each one of them so you can have an idea before you actually choose which one you want to play as. There are also tasks in the game. You can complete tasks earning extra meseta or experience. And also it gives you a little run through on how to do the item enhancement. So there's limit break, affixing, unlocking potentials, and then multiple weapons. Another site to keep an eye on is the closed beta news site. And here they'll be posting news as the weekend goes on. This even has a posting while I was doing the video on how to get the client installed, which is what we went through a little earlier. But there's also a very important one here about issues with the beta. So this is something you're going to want to familiarize yourself with. So as you're playing the game, you will know what issues you may run into, why something isn't working. Oh, that's because it's a known issue. So this is a good thing to make sure you have read through and maybe even reference as you're playing. The last site I want to mention is the Arcsvisiphone site. This is a user-created site that you're probably already familiar with if you played PSO2. At the top of the main page, they've got a link here to the North American version, which doesn't have a whole lot in it, but this may fill in over the weekend. But one thing I want to look at is the reference for the Japanese version already has weapons and techniques and items in here, so you can go ahead and click on one of these items and look around. Now, some of these names may change in the North America version, but it might still be a decent reference to check and see where things might be found at. There's also a list here of the classes that gives you a little more detail than what the manual did as far as the weapons and skills that they have. There's also a nice little link here down to the world map, and you can click on the world map in this upper right hand corner, but as you go through it'll kind of break down where different things are found, at least in the version that we're using now, because I think there's a limited amount of area you can go into in the closed beta. But this is a good place to go through to get an idea of what may be out there already that's been found out from the Japanese version of the closed beta. Now when you get into the game, there's not much you can do right now until the ships are up. But one thing to be aware of is if you choose the getting started, from what I have read, it looks like it dumps you into whatever the least populated ship is. So if you're planning to play with the same players that you play now on PSO2, you'll probably want to manually choose the ship that you chose before. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying they're all going to ship 1, so that ship may get populated pretty quickly. So you'll want to get in here as quickly as you can to pick the ship that you want. But do be aware, whatever progress you make in this is not going to carry over into the final game. So this is kind of a free play area, so you're not locked out of a ship or going to have to pay to move later if by chance you get the wrong ship. And that's all I have for this video. If you have any more resources, be sure to drop them in the comments. I'd love to see them. I'm pretty excited about the closed beta tonight. If you want to find me online, I'll be on as Brainwa Brain. Pretty easy to find. I'll also be streaming on Twitch. You're welcome to join me there and watch, comment. I don't know if I'll have my camera on, but I'll try to have my microphone working. But definitely check me out there, and if you're interested in using any of the footage that I capture up in Twitch, feel free to. It'd be nice if you would link to me if you use it, but I'm not going to insist on it. I just want to be able to share the content with anybody that might be interested. So once again, if you enjoy this content, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing, and until next time, be good.